Welcome back to the Hillbilly RV channel. Today we're going to do a tech talk. I have to look up the numbers. At 6? I believe it's 6, maybe it's 5. I don't know. I'll look up the number. It'll be in the title. As William Shakespeare said a long time ago, to lube or not to lube? That is the question. I think I got that quote right. Maybe not. I don't know. I get confused sometimes. Today, we're going to talk about what to lube, what not to lube on your RV, and what to use. And these are my opinions. I'm sure that you all out there will have your own opinions, and that's fantastic. Let's hear about it. Let's just be nice, and let's please, I hate to keep saying this, but let's please keep our comments very, very G-rated, okay? I don't want to start blocking people, but I will. So let's keep our comments G-rated. All right. A few things before we get started. Merch. I know I keep saying we're going to have merch available. I'm waiting on the artist. I got a guy that's working on t-shirt design, and the basic design is done. And once I get the final design, the final drawings, the digitized stuff, I will get it to Teesprings, and I will have merch available. I'm just waiting on my artist. He's said a couple times in the last month that in the next couple days he's going to get me some stuff. So I don't know, just waiting. So we got that coming, and work is pretty crazy. I've been so busy I didn't have time to do a video for today. So I'm gonna just do a tech talk. But I think this is gonna be a good one, because I see a lot of people lubricate things they should not lubricate. They don't lubricate some things they should lubricate, and sometimes they'll use the wrong lubricant. So yeah, let's. I put that out on the Facebook on the business Facebook page there, and was hoping that I would get some feedback and some questions if people had questions about lubrication on their RV, but I didn't get any. So this video actually is Cameron's idea. I asked him the other day. I said I need to do a tech talk video. I said, what do you think would be a good topic? And he came up with this topic, and my brothers weighed in with some good things. So yeah, let's just start with some heavy duty stuff. And whatever y'all do not tell Mrs. Hillbilly I brought this stuff in the house. We have our classic grease gun. That's for putting grease in grease zerks. Grease zerk fittings. Most RVs don't have many anymore. You may have some if you've got some of these newer style. I forget what they're called. They go between your springs. They're just kind of equalize the pressure between the front axle and the rear axle, or the third axle if you've got more than one. Those things a lot of times will have grease zerk fittings on them, and those need greased. I'll tell you another thing I like to do with this kind of grease. If you have a bumper pull camper, put some of that up in the coupler where the ball and the coupler go together. That's a really good place to use that grease. If your axles have the Easy Lube fittings, there'll be a little rubber plug in the end of your dust cap. Pop that plug out, and there's a grease zerk in there. I'm not a big fan of doing that. Just because too much grease inside your hub, I think, makes heat. It holds heat, and eventually it could cause a bearing failure. But it's better than letting them run dry. If I'm going to grease, your bearings on your trailer, in your hubs, I actually like to take the bearings out, clean them up, inspect them, re-lube, and then put them back. And yes, it's very time consuming. In the field, that'll take me, you know, an hour and a half per wheel probably, because I'm in the field. I'm jacking each wheel up with a bottle jack, removing all that stuff. You always destroy the seal. So if you do that way, be sure you have a grease seal for the inside of the hub, because when you punch that bearing out the back, the big bearing, you will destroy that grease seal. So you have to put a new grease seal. Now, also talking about greasing the bearings, let me get this thing. I keep this inside of an old tube sock just to keep it clean, because you know, when you haul stuff around the truck all the time, sometimes it's hard to keep stuff clean. So I just keep this inside this old sock. Again, please don't tell Mrs. Hillbilly I brought this stuff in the house. This is a thing to grease bearings with. It's real handy. If you're going to be doing this very often, get you one of these. It'll make life much simpler. Of course, you can kick it old school, and you know, you can put some grease in the palm of your hand and work your bearings around, work it through. Because what you want to do is get grease through those rollers and up behind those rollers. Because just putting grease on the outside, that's not putting a grease in a bearing. You actually need to get it up behind the rollers, which this comes in real handy. Does a fantastic job with that, unless it's cold. And if it's cold, you're gonna have a hard time squeezing grease through a bearing. But yeah, you can, the old trick where you put grease in the palm of your hand and you work it through your bearings, that works too. But if you're gonna be doing that very often, get you one of these things. You can pick them up at any auto parts store. I think it's a bearing greaser. I don't know what it's called, but anyhow, if I can find it on Amazon, I'll put it in the link. I got all kinds of stuff in that Amazon store, useful stuff. So go check that out down in the description. Like I say, I got all kinds of useful stuff in that Amazon store. Oh, also, I have a new email address for the Hillbilly channel. So if you want to send me an email, use that email address. If you want to send us something in the mail, I have a post office box. It's listed down there as well. If you want to drop us a postcard, that'd be awesome. Wherever you guys are at, you're traveling or whatever, drop us a postcard. What we'll do, if you want to drop us a postcard or send us a letter or anything else, what we'll start doing is reading those when we do live streams. So that'll give us something to talk about, and it'd be cool to see where y'all at, where you're visiting, where you're vacationing, you know, so on and so forth. That'd be really cool. So aerosol lubricants. Let's talk about aerosol lubricants for a minute. It just irks me to no end when somebody's going to lubricate something and say, "Oh, let me go grab my WD-40." No. The old classic WD-40, okay, has no lubricating properties at all. All right, it's mostly propane. What this was designed for way back in the day, WD-40, water displacement 40, okay? Now, all you folks out there with gray hair, you remember when our vehicles had distributors, points, and condensers, and those distributor caps just loved to collect moisture when the weather conditions were just right. That's what this was for. Spraying that distributor cap, spraying that distributor to displace water. Because like I say, it's mostly, as far as I know, it's mostly propane. So you spray it on, it evaporates, it takes the water with it. The water's gone, you put your distributor cap back on, and your car will start, and you can go to work. That's what this was designed for way back in the day. Now, you know, since then, of course, some really slick marketing people have made everybody believe that this is the go-to lubricant. If it don't move, this will move it. If it squeaks, this will make it stop squeaking. And it will might make it move better. It might make it less squeaky, but it's going to last for minutes. So, you know, for displacing water, this is fantastic. For lubrication, no. Quit using this for lubrication, okay? So, what do we want to lubricate? All right, let's talk about a few things. Now, as y'all probably know, I am a little partial to the Crown products. They're not paying me for this, and you know, in any way, but I really like their products. They make a rust protection, but it has a lot of lubricating properties, I think. I like to use it in a lot of places. It leaves a lot of oil, so you know, you got to be careful where you use it. Now let's say that your electric steps are not wanting to go in and out good. This is a good thing to put on there. Now it will get on the step tread, so you may want to clean the step treads off when you get done lubricating, because electric step, you know, like a 2 or 3 step electric step, my gosh, I think a two-step step, it has like 16 pivot points where it has to move. So, you know, don't waste your time with this. You don't have to use Crown product, but anything that will leave some oil behind, because that's what you want. When you want to lubricate something, you want some oil to be left behind. Yeah, it might be a little messy in certain situations, but you know, it's better than the step not working, because you know, every one of them little pivot points just has a little bit of resistance, and your step only goes halfway out, and you fall out of your RV and break your arm. You're gonna wish you'd put some oil on that step. As far as penetrating oils, I just don't think there's anything out there that will penetrate a rusted bolt or whatever. I think that is a farce. Go to YouTube. There's all kinds of people that have done videos on penetrating oils, all the different penetrating oils, and do they penetrate? And I think you'll find out that no, they do not. Now, that being said, now Crown does make a penetrating oil. Now see, this says it's anti-seize, displaces moisture, inhibits rust, and it lubricates. I don't know. I know if you go watch the horse trailer video that I did 7 months ago or so, the lift gate on the horse trailer was really stuck. I mean, it would come down, you know, just about, I don't know, 30, 40 degrees, and it would stick. And it was everything you do to get that lift gate down. Now, I sprayed those hinges with this every day for 2 weeks. It was working better, but then I ended up drilling those hinges, putting grease circs in, and actually squirting some grease in there. Then she freed up. So yeah, I just don't really think there's any penetrating oil on the market that actually penetrates. You know, it'd be great if somebody did come up with something that would actually penetrate, because it would be super handy to a lot of people, especially in the Rust Belt, you know, where things tend to rust. So maybe someday, maybe someday before the year 3000, somebody will come out with a penetrating oil that actually penetrates. Now, I'm not here just to bash WD-40, because they actually do have some products that I do like. This gel lubricant, the WD-40 gel lubricant. Now, this is a good thing to use on electric steps, because it leaves oil behind, and this is it's a gel. So if you need to spray something like over your head, it really sticks good and it doesn't tend to drip, and it does a fantastic job. This is a good product. I like this. It even says no drip formula right there on the can. But yeah, I do like this in certain situations, like an electric step. Okay. Now, slide rooms. All right. You know, everything that moves does not have to be slathered in grease. Slide rooms are a good example of that. Now, I'll put a link to a video that I did on a Lippert slide room that they started having a problem with it. The first thing the guy done was greased it. The problem got worse, and it ended up tearing up some stuff. But people have always, if you've got a Lippert slide room, it used to be Power Gear, Lippert bottom, that it's probably going to be, it can either be an electric or hydraulic room, but it'll have these square tubes on the bottom of the room, and on the bottom of those square tubes is a rack of gears, okay, as long as the slide mechanism. And near the camper, then you have basically a gear pack or pinion maybe, but a gear pack is what they call it. And the two gear packs are hooked together by a shaft. What that does is keeps the room in time, because usually on those type of rooms, there's only a single mechanism to push the room in and out. So you have to be able to time both ends of the room, because sometimes these rooms can be quite large. And like I say, you've only got a single mechanism that pulls the room in and out. So they'll use these gears. It's really a rack and pinion, but anyhow, they don't call it a rack and pinion. They call it, you know, I don't know what they call the gears on the bottom of the rooms. Maybe somebody out there can tell me. But the gear pack. And what happened on that one room, and like I say, I'll put a link to that video down here, because you know, when we put cards up here, that's what those are called, to link to a video. We can only put one per video. So yeah, I'll link some of these videos down here in the description, where all the other stuff's at that you need to go look at. So yeah, that guy, he kind of messed up. And made a mess. I mean, we had to deal with the mess and the grease and clean the grease up as best we could and stuff. But yeah, what happens when you grease those? You know, it just attracts dust, dirt, and bugs, and you know, and eventually it's just gonna, you know, grease when it's exposed to the air and gets dirt and bugs and dust and road debris in it. You know, it starts solidifying and it gets really sticky. It no longer lubricates, it gets really sticky. Now, I was talking to my brother today, and I didn't even realize they made such a product, but he says that even on heavy equipment, he's using a lot of dry graphite. I knew about the little bitty tubes of dry graphite that you put in locks. And here, that's a good thing. If you've got a lock on your RV that's sticky, it's hard to turn with the key or whatever, just get you some dry graphite. You can get it in any part store, or if I can find it, I'll put a link in the Amazon store for little tubes of dry graphite. And they got a real little end, and you can actually stick it in a lock and kind of puff it a couple times, because it's dry. So you can just kind of puff it a couple times, blow some graphite in there, run your key in and out a few times, turn a few times. Man, it does a fantastic job, because now if you squirt oil, you know, any of these oils in a lock, you know, it may work okay for a couple times, but then there you go. It's going to start collecting dirt and dust. There's a lot of dirt inside of a lock. If you ever took a lock apart, actually take the tumbler assembly out, it's dirty. I mean, that makes a lot of metal when you work a lock. So yeah, all that stuff starts solidifying, and before you know it, your lock doesn't work at all, and you're buying a new one. So yeah, use that dry graphite. And back to what my brother said, and I didn't even know it. They actually make dry graphite in an aerosol can. And like heavy equipment, if any of you have ever run heavy equipment, you know, like a road grader, you know, the turntable where the blade turns, you know, like this, You know, only thing I've ever seen that lubricated with was grease. And, you know, people just slather grease all over it. And there again, you know, it collects dirt and dust and gets hard and sticky. And before you know it, things don't work right. He said they're using dry graphite on stuff like that nowadays. You know, he has a service truck, and you know, his crane, the boom goes in and out, and you know, used to they put grease on that. It's the same deal, you know. And he said now they're using dry graphite on that. I had no idea, so I guess I need to find me a can of aerosol dry graphite. And he says it does go on. There is some moisture to it, probably just a propellant. So he said you spray it on, give it a few minutes to dry, and then you run, you know, whatever you lubricated, you know, you can run it in and out or round around or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to look into that because I had no idea. So you know, that may be something that if I can find a link, you know, go in the Amazon store. Now there are a lot of, you'll see these. You've seen these advertised. RV slide out lube. Okay. Well, I didn't know till a while ago when I was getting this stuff out of the truck. I thought 3-in-1 was a brand. Maybe it was at one time. This is actually made by WD-40. Now this is, I didn't look, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, silicone. So this is a dry silicone lube. Now, dry silicone lubes have their places. Maybe not necessarily slide outs, but there again, if you watch that video that I did on the Lippert slide out room where we changed the gear pack, we actually changed the gear pack, we adjusted the room, and that thing, it still wanted to skip. We ended up spraying this on the underneath that slide room, because a lot of these slide rooms, a lot of friction there. But they put, you know, like a slick material on the bottom of the rooms. But still, the bottom of the room, a lot of times, is just running on the main floor of your camper. And in order to get that room to go in and out, we actually had to spray it with some silicone, with some dry silicone lube. And it's not dry. I mean, it does come out wet, but it whatever propellant is in it, dry, you know, evaporates pretty quickly and turns out to be dry. And as far as I know, the silicone-based lubricants, you know, they won't stain. You can, you know, you don't have to worry about getting it on your paint. I think even fabrics and stuff. Now, don't go spraying your couch with it and holler at me when it's stained. But I'm pretty sure this does not stain most things. So it's a really good, you know, lubricant to use, you know, inside the RV, you know, drawers. Maybe you got a drawer that's doesn't work right. You know, this may be a good place for that. Like I said, that one slide out room, we had to spray this on the bottom of that room, not on the mechanisms, but just across the whole bottom of the room, and it would go in and out as slick as a ribbon. But while it was dry, it wanted to skip, and it would end up you know, tearing up that new gear pack had we continued. But yeah, so you know, all this stuff has its place. It has its purposes. Now this here, I was working on a BAL slide room one time, and I wrote on this can, BAL slide rooms only, because they told me to go get this ZEP lubricant, and it's got a number on here. That crazy camera will probably never focus on it, and I don't have my glasses on. R07101. If you have a BAL slide room, don't use anything but this. Otherwise, if you call them and say you got problems and you tell them you use something besides this, they're going to yell at you, because this is the only lubricant that BAL authorizes to use on their slide rooms. And this has been quite a few years ago, and I don't remember exactly what kind of problem we were having. Maybe it was, oh, I remember what it was. The room was just real jumpy. As the room was going in and out, just real jumpy. And I was afraid it was going to break cables or pull a bracket out of the wall. and talked to BAL. They told me to get this stuff. I had a hard time finding it, really. I went to several stores, automotive stores and hardware stores and stuff, and I couldn't find it, and I think I ended up ordering this online. Now there again, be a link in the Amazon store if I can find it. But yeah, so BAL slide rooms only, and that was the only time I've ever used this. But it's a high pressure lubricant. I don't know why, but anyhow. But that's what they told me to use, and it's clear it right up. You know, the room quit jumping and started going in and out very smoothly. So it did work. They were right. You know, tech people are pretty slick. Now this is not really a lubricant per se, but this is something that I use a lot of. Battery terminal protector. And this happens to be CRC. I use this in a lot of places. I like to use this in your trailer plug, your 7-way trailer plug, where your trailer plugs into your vehicle. This is really good stuff. It keeps those plugs from corroding, and I mean, I'll spray it. You know, if I put a new plug on the end of a cord for somebody, you know, I'll spray back there where the wire connections are, and I'll put the connector together, and then I'll spray the front where the other connectors are, where the blades go into the female connector on your car, or vice versa. The car's got the male and the trailer's got the female. But yeah, I use this stuff a lot. If I do wire connections somewhere where it's going to be exposed to the weather, now I use heat shrink butt connectors, but back in the day I just used regular butt connectors, spray it with this stuff, tape it up good, and I mean, you know, it seemed like it would last for a long time, exposed to the elements. So yeah, I really like this stuff. Now it is messy, it is red, and it is messy. So, you know, use this stuff, I don't want to say sparingly, but anything that you're going to be touching, you know, wipe it off of it. You want it back in there where it will do some good, not be getting it everywhere. So that's all I can really think about right now. I had some notes, and I've covered everything on my note card, and you know, I don't know what else to say about lubricants. Hey, if you've got any questions, or you know something that works, or you just think I'm a complete idiot, leave me a comment down there and let me know what you use, where you use it, why you use it, and you know, if we get enough response, maybe we'll do a second tech talk, or maybe we'll just include it in a live stream. But yeah, I think that's all I've got right now. So I've got to get all this stuff off the kitchen table, get it back out the truck before Mrs. Hillbilly catches me. And if y'all tell on me, I'm going to be really upset. So yeah, I think that's all I've got. So as always, thanks for watching, and check out all that stuff down below. There's getting to be a lot of stuff down there, so go check all that stuff out. And I'm going to go down the road and fix another one, and y'all have a fantastic day.